Hello and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, channeling the Man in the Moon. Today I'm going to channel on the two Putins, one of them being Donald Trump. The spirit told me this morning this would be something I could look at. Also, I really want to see what's the meaning of these two people for us. So let's start with the American Putin, Donald Trump. So next stage of Trump is him going after his own. So I see Trump with a cleaver and he's trying to cut stuff off, but he's gotten very dangerously close to his own hand. So if you think about, members of his family, all those things, he would go after them directly if he could. Now, they may turn on him. Well, let's just ask, will they turn on him? All right, I'm seeing Trump Jr. He looks at me and kind of skulks away. For the most part, these kids are going to try not to get noticed. But Junior is called to a witness stand. And he has to make a decision about whether he supports his father or, if he does, he's going to go to prison. And his father does not look very happy. I think when Junior's pressed, he will tell the truth about his father to save himself. And in a sense, this would be like the perfect downfall. I know Trump Jr. doesn't seem like an important person, and he isn't. He's just the son of a former president. But there's something very symbolic of having your own son tell the truth about you and sort of, betray you. And that's what Trump would consider. So it's a personal devastation for him. I keep getting this as like Trump is cleaving his fingers. So don't forget that this includes lawyers, everybody associated with him, all the maggots, all those people are going to start turning on him, because if they don't, they know they're going to face some serious charges. Trump's getting angrier and angrier. I'm getting a message to look at Trump lawyers. They're also going to be called to testify. And when they do, they're going to try to make it behind closed doors. But at least one of the guys, and I can't remember this guy's name, it's before Eastman and all the others, he's compelled to testify. And he will do it, on a witness stand. So some of them are going to have to be more public. There's a woman who dyes her hair blonde. She's got a lot to say. Let's see. And I see like a shock of blonde hair. It doesn't look authentic. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, okay, who is this? What does she have to say? She actually is sitting before the panel. I don't know if it's live. It looks like it's live. It looks like they may televise it. And they didn't know about her before, like she's come out of the woodwork recently. So keep in mind, these people are going to start coming out of the woodwork. They have their own lives at risk now. They're now associated with a criminal president. They have to work to keep themselves out of jail. And, if it were just one or two people, Trump could just malign them. But it's starting to be everyone. There won't be enough airtime to malign all of these people. And Liz Cheney's smart. She's not letting anybody know who they are beforehand, so they can't smear them in advance. Everything's going to change, really. Like, I'm seeing a dawn that's happening, and you may not notice it, but the dawn really is happening right now, and the arc of justice has begun, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop no matter what happens in the next election, although that is looking much brighter for the Democrats. Is there anything else we need to know about Trump? He may pretend to try to run again. And I think he's just going to make noises like, yeah, I'm running, but not actually do it because he doesn't want to spend any of his money. And because he doesn't want to have to withdraw. Right. So in the meantime, he'll be having a bunch of, fundraiser, get myself out in front type events, but they look really poorly attended. Yeah, I just get he's lost his edge. He's lost his ability to persuade people. Now those following him they just look foolish. And some of the Republicans are starting to have a moment of reflection where they're reflecting on their own consciences, and they're starting to think maybe they should, both practically and spiritually speaking, they need to put distance between themselves and Trump. And they were hoping not to have to do this publicly. And that's their downfall. If they had done so publicly, there might be better chances for them to win. But the fact that they're just kind of sneaking them away, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for any of those Republicans. Again, this will really help the Dems in the next election. So let's move on to Putin. And y'all know I hate reading on Putin. He always creeps me out, but I'm just putting a big bubble around myself for protection. Okay, bubbles installed around me. Going through my pyramid here. Okay, so because I always see him as just like these weird long claw-like characters. He's looks very demonic. So keep in mind, while Putin is successfully invading these places, he's also stretching his power very thin. As he reaches out of his country, he extends his power to a place where he doesn't have as much control, and it leaves him less guarded in his own country. And I always get this: Putin will not last. He will not survive long. And I don't know how he goes, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing. It's like a light, and the light moves, and the light goes directly onto Putin. And it's like, you take a magnifying glass and like you can burn a leaf with it. It looks like that. Mm, I'm not getting natural causes here. I don't think he goes naturally. It might look like he went naturally. I think that they are making plans, right, to get rid of him. And when I say they, I mean a few people in hideaway corners who are, reasonably powerful, but keeping a low profile right now. Part of the reason they're doing this is they're scared for themselves. So it's not all about integrity. It is about them actually fearing him and knowing that if he keeps going, that he will could take anyone down. Also, they are pissed off because the economy is not good for those people. Again, these are rich, powerful people. They seem in the four corners, like spread far from Moscow, so they're a little bit more able to get things done in a way because they're outside of his center of power. And it's interesting because I see him clawing into Ukraine, but the claws go, they scratch it up quite a bit, but they seem to go back to the border. I don't know if this is before his death or after. Let's ask, is this before his death? Well, it looks like before his death, Ukraine makes some advances in returning the territory to Ukraine. Not all, but some. And this is part of the problem for Putin. Part of the reason that they're able to get rid of him is that he's losing his power. Yeah, Putin is not long for this world. And it's a great relief. It'll be a great relief when he's gone. Really, things will just go back to normal, and people will be moving on the trajectory of a better economy, a better environment, a better world. Once he is gone, it will be a major defeat of the sort of fascist, let's call it, meme that is sort of taken over the world to some degree. I should say, trying to take over the world because it failed. Right. So don't forget that Trump failed, and don't forget that Putin is failing. Spirit, why are we being served these types of dictators now? These practices of oppression were unnoticed for a long time. They happened, but people didn't really pay attention, maybe in a more subtle way. People are very oppressed in Russia and have been for, decades. And no one has really, within Russia, been able to truly be liberated, right? So we always know that these things go on and we let them go on. It's when it's like a fireball, it's coming towards you, you have to move, right? And then you have to address, like, who's shooting fireballs at us. So I make this poor metaphor to say that, while this is all terrible stuff, it's difficult to watch emotionally. It is inspiring us to defeat fascism. It could also be said that America, once Putin came in, the United States and the world reacted in horror. And so Americans, particularly, could see Trump and say, this is the same. There's no difference between Putin and Trump. There's the same goals, the same oppression, the same corruption, the same power, the same egos. There's no difference, really. It's a movement, right? Let's ask one more time. Why do we have this movement? It's pretty awesome. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing like all of the elderly grandmas, showing their power. Like, you think I don't have any power? Well, I've got all the power I need in my handbag right here. I got my, lipstick and my cell phone. I got my feet. I can go protest, for all you out there who think that you don't have power, that you are a small person, that people don't care what you think. Now's the time to show your stuff. Now's your time to hit the streets, and now's your time to educate younger people who didn't go through the radical days when, Black people couldn't sit in the front of the bus. We all did. Well, I almost did. So many of you did. It is now time for you to come to the emerging group of change makers and just helping them a little bit with your advice, remind them that we're all in it together, etc. But it's just great. I just see the most regular person, elderly woman, and she is just so powerful right now. She is just absolutely power with her wisdom and her knowledge. She's symbolic of all of us. The wisdom and knowledge that you have is valuable. Your ability to make a difference by being, creative or subtle or diplomatic or loud, however that comes about. All of us have this collective power, which we're rediscovering right now. And I would just ask all of you, when you feel really blue and when you're down with the things that are really depressing that are happening around the planet and the United States, go to this place where you feel your own power and connect to the power of others to make positive changes, because we did defeat Trump, and we will defeat Putin. And if we work together, we can make really big changes. Our time is now. And you might think of all of us as like a rainbow. We are different. We all have different priorities, maybe different skin colors, genders, whatever it is. But we all make up the rainbow. And if we work together, if we go to that place where we work together, we'll be happier. The world will be a better place. And we have all evolved. Thanks so much for watching.